Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing the good old fast sub row. We haven't played it in a minute, so we ended up running it back. Ended up having a person buy some gold carries. We ended up running it up. Pretty good games overall. I mean, some of them are after the eviscerate nerf. Sub row's kind of questionable. Now all really you don't really have many burst windows to kill something. Mainly outlaw is a new spec. Assassination is still not the best. Um, it's okay because of Shiv. So if you're playing with like a Destro Luck in threes or something like that, it's still pretty good. But like overall as a spec, Outlaws definitely has overtaken Sub and Assass by like a mile. So here we end up almost not killing this guy. I'm literally backstabbing him to death. I bomb him late because obviously he's gonna try to either heal him or do something. My guy gets a trap, really good. But this is actually a big 1v1. This guy actually ends up killing my teammate. So very unlucky. And obviously everybody knows the sub. We have a really insane game in here. It's gonna be the second game. It's pretty much a close game, really. I mean, there was a really good amount of saps off that. We got like two saps off of nothing, which was pretty insane. And it was honestly a close. They probably were about to win. Thankfully, I had blades up, and they didn't. The druid, I guess, didn't realize it, so we ended up taking them out. But yeah, we do have an insane game coming up. So if you are interested and you just want to skip to the insane game, that's going to be the second clip that's going to be played. Otherwise, just watch the entire video, watch a few clips, watch it in the background, comment for the algorithm. Obviously, I'm just posting whatever I got, whenever I get the time to post, obviously. And that'll be that. But otherwise, pretty much all we're doing, we're opening, we're doing damage, and then we're running. Because obviously, we have zero CDs other than Cloak. We definitely don't want to die to this priest. And you kind of have to just play scared. So here, this guy's jumping over the ledge. I end up juking him off. End up just running to the other side. At this point, we can full sap him. He has no rupture on him or nothing, so I could either go step sap or I can just run and wait off. I'm gonna sap him when he gets off the edge. We could probably just open here, to be honest. We have cloak up, so it's not like we're not in a super big danger. This guy pretty much has no chance after I get CDs, so he pretty much should just leave the game. But they usually don't do that. For some reason, they have the time to just sit there for an extra couple minutes and actually play it out. Usually, for me, I'm the moment my teammate dies, and I know this guy has just one CD, I am out of the game. Now, if I'm on a DPS, it's different, but if I'm healing, I'm done. I'm GG. It's time to yeah, nah, I'm good. But yeah, I've just been a little bit busy. I've been uploading what I can, but it's not like the best content, but it's still, some people actually like it and some people don't. Obviously, some people that like Outlaw, some people don't. It is what it is. I just post whatever I got, and we just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? So you guys will have to let me know what you guys want to see next. Maybe I'll have to do. I don't know what the next video is gonna be actually. Like after this one. I mean, I would do a sub bro. The sub bro guides do really well, but it's just like nothing changes with sub. Like it would literally just be the same exact video of the last two I've already done. They just do really well for some reason. Because I guess, because obviously my main content is sub rogue, so that's just how that goes. But I don't think anyone wants a sub rogue guide. I'll have to do a poll. I don't know why you guys would even want a sub rogue guide, but to be honest, I'll post whatever you guys want to see in the first place. I could care less. Or maybe I can just boost the rogue and we'll do the zero or the green gear to 2400. That would be horrendous. It really would, especially with fresh MMR. That would be questionable. I'd probably have to see how high I can get and go to the highest potential. Because with green gear and fresh MMR, it would be absolutely just, oh my god. Fresh MMR is already bad enough. Like, I can probably get to 22, 2300 before it's just like, I cannot gain rating. It's just not possible. It's like, it's just so much harder when you don't have really high MMR from the start. Still no fixes with the MMR though for some reason. I don't know why, but thankfully we end up taking this guy out with the good old fashioned extra dam from the Night Fae ability, and we end up running up. So this is the game here. We're running up there. Probably either gonna open on the DH. We end up sapping him here. And again, when you're a DH and you come out, make sure you instantly immolation into your eyes. So here we open on the DH. most likely going to kill the DH, but also the Druid can die. So the moment he evasions, we're going to swap, because obviously we're not going to kill him through Blur. I end up cloaking, and I have him running Cloak Bubble versus DHs. That way they can't incap me or peel me off of the other guy. So at this point, that we blind the Druid. The Druid's really far. The DH is running, so at this point we're just gonna vanish, step sap him, so get an insane DR sap that stops him from getting to the DH. Unfortunately, he pre-nethers or nethers air pretty much, and kind of that really just did not help us. So here, if my guy could have landed actually it wouldn't have mattered. So here I Shadowy Dole. Unfortunately, he somehow lives. Actually, I think he Darkness or has Ironbark on him or something. So I can see why he lives. So here he ends up lives to go, but we get Darkness, which is really good. We get Ironbark, I'm pretty sure, I think. At this point, the game's pretty much over for us. I have no blades. He has no turtle after this. The game's pretty much a GG. The only way you can win as a rogue is if you have blades up. So here we get an insane sap, and he breaks my sap. Very unlucky. So we did get in a sap out of air, but unfortunately, it ended up being not really good. Here at this point, I know we're not going to kill him, and I have blades coming up at 20, so if I can just live 20 seconds, I might just be able to kill this guy, because a lot of the Druids don't realize the amount of burst damage that a sub can do, because usually they're so used to just using CDs on sub burst that it's like, oh, well, this guy's not going to do anything. This guy ends up actually just doing a huge mistake. Instead of just putting full odds on both of them, he ends up trying to cycle on me instead of just literally just doing just healing. So here I'm like, okay, I have blades coming up. We have one chance to kill this guy, getting my common points for the sun. At this point, we have to go, or else I'm just gonna die. So here I just kidney shot. I'm not even gonna bother cheap shotting. I'm gonna smoke bomb late while he's trying to cycle him. So I see he tries to cycle him, bomb late into a fat eviscerate before he can heal him, and the guy runs into the bomb, and his teammate runs out of the bomb, so he's out of line of sight, so he can't NS heal him. So just an insane game. So big mistake by these guys, and we end up taking the W. So at this point, we're still pretty scared though. We really need to run, so our bleeds are off at this point. Now we just need to wait for some CDs. If he was smart, he would go for the res instantly or for the eyeballs. Because I have 0 CDs right now. Well, actually, I have Vanish, but if he gets the eyeball, it's not going to matter. So at this point, he needs to get the eyeball. He's on sap DR, so I can't sap him. Or I could sap him once or twice, but I'm pretty sure it's already on the first DR, so at this point, he should have got the eyeballs and just sprinted at me, kept me in combat, kept bleeds on me. I have no vanish, so I can't get a re. And at this point, if he stuns me, then I'd have to trinket, which would easily get my trinket. So if he was gonna, for some reason, it ended up taking him out of stealth, and I forgot I'm not running subterfuge like in Shadowlands. So, yeah, this guy ends up just, I think I'm surprised he didn't die here, to be honest. He had 0 hots on him. This guy, instead of just hotting himself up, instantly goes for the triple trees. That's how you know that's questionable. Those trees be carrying sometimes, ain't gonna lie. But pretty much we're just lining. You gotta wait for CDs. If you're ever gonna 1v1 somebody, it is way better for you to just wait it out than to just go in. A lot of people just don't understand that sub rogue without CDs, you'll lose every 1v1 ever. So literally, I would just play the move where you just sit in stealth, wait for them to get the eyeball, sap them when they have the eyeball, and just literally run around the pillar, go stun them off DR if they catch you, and then literally just gouge them off all your stuns so you can run away. Obviously, if you have CDs up, you can just do what I'm doing right now and just keep applying pressure until they eventually die. But obviously, if they're not in a stun, they're probably not going to die. And since this guy keeps running in cat form, I'm obviously going to get a full stun in cat, and I have blades. At this point, he's pretty much dead. Because he's not going to pre-bear my stun, because, obviously that's just not going to happen. This is a little bit lower rated games, it's like 17 or 1800. So that's that. But you guys have to let me know what you guys want to see in the next video, because obviously, if you're going to suggest a video, make sure you suggest a title, because I will use your title that you give. Because obviously, I'm running out of title names, I ain't gonna lie. I've made so many videos just in the last, like, few years. Like, I have, like, 500 something videos already. Because I've made a video, like, every day or every other day. Which is pretty crazy for somebody with my amount of subs. But, here we end up opening. We're gonna cloak the seduction. I was gonna kick it, to be honest, because I thought it would be on my hunter. But, because obviously every rogue should be cloaking in the opener versus a double DBS. Especially a Boomy. Because at this point, this Boomy's dead. Unless he has really big peels and he, like, can bash, clone, or, at this point, there's nothing he can do. He'd have to, like, root beam me off my cloak, and then I'd have to, there's a bunch of things, or like, stand by the gate so he can get away, or Hellstone on top of his renewal. But thankfully, we ended up just using every CD to trade. And since Boomies are really, they don't have a defensive CD. Like, they don't have survival instincts or anything, which they really need. Like, honestly, I would argue that Feral and Boomies deserve 2 stacks of survival instincts. So, not Resto Druid, just specifically Feral Druid and Boomy. So here, BM Hunter, or BM Hunter Healer is like a really hard comp. Now, if it was a Resto Druid BM, it would be like 10 times harder, because obviously this comp is really hard to beat in general, because BMs just do so much unhealable damage for no reason. So this guy ends up living. He pre-PS's my bomb, which kind of sucks, but we end up getting Trinket Turtle. He swaps, which is the best thing that could happen to us. This guy ends up almost living this entire setup. Thankfully, somehow, because obviously Priest is the most broken class in the game, and this guy, we end up taking him out. This guy thought he was good, but he's not good. From Zul'jin, he ends up trying to cast another time. Instead, he gets taken out immediately. No dome, went to buy dome. We don't ever dome, and we end up winning the game here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know. Unfortunately, if he had not swapped and he just PS'd himself, they would have been perfectly fine, and then he could have just healed the hunter out of the duel, because obviously the hunter has a self heal for himself, and he has turtle, so he's most likely not going to die. But here we end up taking him out. And for this game, this was a pretty easy game. This is the good old fast Crusader strat where they try holding the CDs and end up dying, so very questionable. But pretty much we're looking for the rogue. Usually we're just gonna go H-Power, because at this point an outlaw rogue's usually not gonna die. I mean, if these guys were, obviously we're playing at a lower rated, so uh this team should never lose to any double DPS. They just have so much utility. H-Piles in general in twos versus double DPS, just, or really any setup comp, should never really lose, because H-Piles are really, like, utility-wise, they're S tier. Like, they can stop every go by themselves. It's basically like an SP. So here we end up opening this guy. He's just randomly cast a rep, so that's what you know what's going on in the game. I think this guy literally has green gear on, because if you look at his maul, it looks like he has literal BOEs on, and he's probably just getting a boost from the rogue or something. But it was a GG regardless. And this is at around 1800, so it's not like super high or nothing. But that's pretty much that. And for the last game, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Evoker, which we don't very much see a lot in twos. You see it a lot in threes, you see it a lot in solo shuffle. They're insanely OP. They do an unlimited amount of burst damage pretty much the entire game. And they're super strong. So here, we're pretty much just going to go the Evoker. Sometimes you can even go Shaman, but obviously if the Evoker's not good and he doesn't know how to use CDs, he's going to die. This guy ends up trinketing using... See, that's a perfectly good trade, except he didn't use his other wall, so he ends up just getting one-shotted. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.